What's good, Outrage crew? How we feeling? Goddamn Saturday night turned into Sunday morning, didn't it? Holy shit. We here hanging out on the motherfucking Outrage cast, ladies and gentlemen. Let's share it out on Facebook. Had a long day of Postmates today. Went up to the fourth wall, rocked it out. To a very sexually subversive crowd there. And I was talking about not watching porn anymore, and they were not amused. We all watch porn. What's wrong with porn? I mean, you're just sitting there jerking off to other people having sex, and you're not involved in the act, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you're just a cuckold, and you've got to accept your cuckoldry, because we vote for Bernie Sanders, and that's what happens when you have an empty ball sack. Is you end up looking at that old, decrepit 80-year-old spouting off nonsense about income inequality, and you're like, now that guy seems like a good leader to me. You don't say it that with that much bass in your voice. You say that guy seems like a good leader to me. I don't know. I'll just keep swiping on Tinder. Hopefully I'll meet my porn star piece of ass someday. I don't jerk off to porn anymore, ladies and gentlemen. I don't do the dating apps. Starting to look like Jussies. How dare you, Eric Cookie? How dare you? Bernie looks like kindling at this point in his life. I mean, I don't even think he can keep the fire going. Are you saying that, Cookie, because I'm wearing my my uncle sweater tonight? All right, I'm keeping warm. God damn it! You got to throw on that beige sweater every now and then, dude. Get that Mr. Rogers swag going. All right. We still got the dragon energy popping off. So it's okay, all right? My ball sack is full, ladies and gentlemen. AJ! I was just talking about the shit I was talking on stage tonight and how, I was talking about how I'm not jerking off to porn anymore because it makes you, like, people make fun of cuckold porn and like, oh, look at that loser jerking off in the corner while this stud bangs this super hot porn chick. And it's like, so what does that make you? What does that make me if I'm sitting here jerking off to the porn? I'm the cuckold. It's like, what's the difference between that loser dude jerking off in the corner and me? At least he's in the room. All right, there's pussy aromas floating around. I'm just sitting here looking at a screen with my jizz frosted keyboard, dude. That's not... I don't think it's good for your brain, man. I don't think porn is good for your brain. You start missing those goddamn nuances of life. And life is better when you don't voluntarily turn yourself into a cuckold. That part of the bit got a laugh because it's so goddamn true. Something just fell. That part of the bit got a laugh because it's so goddamn true they can't even deny it. But then I went into, guys are scared they're going to be a little too aggressive if they don't jerk off and drain their balls. Oh, I'm going to be too aggressive. And I was like, yeah, that's the big problem with America. There's this epidemic of aggressive men walking around. And it's like, that did not get a laugh because the people in the room are the not aggressive men. They pride themselves on not having any aggression or any energy whatsoever. They pride themselves on being, beta keyboard frosters, all right? And so then the room got all quiet, and then I started going in making fun of Bernie, and it got a laugh because I said he was an insane 80-year-old who combs his hair with a balloon. That got a little bit of a laugh just because it's so true. But they didn't want to laugh at anything I said after that. Oh my God, he's making fun of poor old Bernie. And I said there was something used to be taboo about porn because people didn't want you to watch it. Like there was all these religious groups that would protest and they try to get it banned and censored, and that doesn't exist anymore. So it's like there's nothing taboo about like it's 90% of the internet. It's like just gaping assholes. So it's like you're not even pissing off any squares when you're jerking off to porn and watching this shit all the time. It's like what you're literally just staring at a gaping asshole right now, just for the sake of the act itself. And it's like this is just gross at this point. It's like what dudes are like, oh, those gaping assholes, right? Can't get enough, dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, man, not really. It's just kind of fucking gross. Oh, AJ, he's a Puritan there. Porn on the internet, eh? There's a plethora of porn on the internet. I check in every now and then. I don't jerk off to it anymore, but I check in every now and then just to see how big the dicks have gotten. They're doing some mad Frankenstein science projects with some of these dudes' dicks. I don't believe that shit is natural, dude. They're pumping some Mexican supplements into that pig there, and it's fucking growing a life of its own. All right. And I just compare my own dick size to it, and I'm like, close the window. Move on with the rest of my goddamn day, ladies and gentlemen. And I went so long digging my hole deep on stage with the porn material that I didn't even get to the other shit I was talking about, really. I was going to talk about trans women taking over women's sports and how, Juwanna Mann was a fictional comedy movie in the 90s, and now they're going to look back at it like, interesting documentary about the brave trans woman who went in the WNBA and started dunking on hoes. That's reality, dude. That's the progressive reality. Women's sports will not exist in 10 years. It's going to be a bunch of men who've chopped their cocks off and put wigs on. And it's going to be, basically the NBA Development League with no dicks. But you never see it the other way around. That's why I posted that picture on Instagram of the super swole, massive bodybuilder, and the caption's like, "This is Emily. Emily wants to play in the NFL, but she can't because of transphobic rules that won't allow her to." And but you never see it the other way around, man. It's the transgender phenomenon is essentially a phenomenon of dudes chopping their cocks off. That's really an epidemic of cock chopping is what's going on. It's 90% men transitioning over to women. There's not a lot of women transitioning over to men because there's not really that much of a benefit to being a man in 2019 America. You just get personally held responsible for every one of your actions. You never get any get out of jail free cards. You never, nobody just believes your allegations of criminal activity without evidence. Evidence? Well, as a straight white man, that's just how I feel that he's guilty of running into my car. I shouldn't have to prove it. I saw in Dave Smith's show, he had a little breakdown of that Cohen testimony and shit, and they had that clip. I don't know if anybody saw this, but there was this black woman who's a congresswoman, and Trump wants evidence of, he says there's no evidence of the Russia collusion. What the fuck? I hate evidence now, There's no evidence of Kavanaugh being a gang rapist. What the fuck? Who needs evidence? Who needs, 1,000 years of innocent until proven guilty and all this, this legal precedent that's led up to this point. We just throw it out the window because Christine Blasey Ford, she's super credible. We believe her. We feel like we believe her. As a black disabled trans woman, I feel like I believe Christine Blasey Ford, and so Kavanaugh needs to go to prison. Go in the cage, Kavanaugh. It's how I feel. So there was this black congresswoman who apparently, like, I don't know how this came up in the hearing, but like some guy, oh, okay, here it was. Cohen was calling Trump a racist, right? And so this one of the Republican congressmen got this black woman who had worked for Trump to come and testify, and she said, I worked for Trump. I wouldn't work for a racist. He's not a racist. It was fine. Nothing happened. I worked for Trump. He's fine. He's not a racist. And this black congresswoman, she was like, how dare you use a black woman as a pawn, as a token to come out here just because somebody works for somebody who's a person of color doesn't make them not racist. And it's like, well, it's not exactly not evidence. It's like, you'd think if he was this horrible racist, she would have some kind of story about him being racist, or it would have came up at some point. But it's like, no, there was no problems. It's worked for Trump, and he wasn't that racist. And it's like, she is, taking away the agency of this woman and being like, none of your thoughts or statements matter. You're a black woman, so you're being used as a tool to prove that Trump's not racist. And it's like, what she said is infinitely more racist than anything Trump has ever said. And she's like, what? And she got pressed on it. She's like, well, as a woman of color, I was just presenting how I feel, and that's just how I feel. I'm a woman of color, that's how I feel. It's like I've never known a black person who started a sentence with, as a person of color. Like, you're like, so you're saying I should take things different based on people's skin color? That seems a little racist. As a straight white male, I think, well, that doesn't matter as much. Okay, straight white male, it doesn't matter as much, so you don't need to use a preface to your sentence. We don't care about what you think. That's a given. It's like, who's the racist here? Like I was talking about on the podcast last night, they're the racists, we're the liberals. All right? They've got it backwards, ladies and gentlemen. I saw your comment, AJ. What'd you say? Did you see the video from Project Veritas on Don Lemon AIDS admitting the Russian story is a nothing burger? Yeah, it's obviously a nothing burger. Yeah, dude. Project Veritas has been all over that. They disproved the whole thing, months ago. And anybody who paid attention during the election knew there wasn't any Russian collusion, and that was a fucking bullshit Democratic excuse for why they lost. The mainstream media had to have an excuse for why they had all this favorable coverage toward Hillary and totally bashed Trump and predicted that Hillary was going to win, and they were totally, absolutely 100% wrong. And the Democrats had to have an excuse for why this 30-year veteran of politics, Hillary Clinton, couldn't beat a fucking wingnut reality TV show star trying out politics for the first time. The Russians! And there's patently no evidence to it, and some chick that was making all these horrific abortion jokes on stage tonight still made a reference to like how Russia won the election for Trump, and it's like no amount of zero evidence is going to convince these idiots that they're wrong. What up, 1,000-yard bear stare? The lady handing out cotton balls to black kids. I don't know what reference that is. What the hell's? Let me get another beer here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, it's a mad world out there, baby. Mad world, ladies and gentlemen. Don't try to take away our porn. Don't be transphobic. Let them take over women's sports. It's okay. Nobody watched women's sports anyway. At least, I can get on board with that. Women's sports have always been really goddamn boring. Let's spice it up. All right? Let's get some cockless men in there, dunking on hoes. That's what I want to see, dude. What are you talking about, 1,000 Yard? Saying that because you're putting out some heat on that politics, but still hovering. Oh, I put out heat on the politics, baby. What do you mean by hovering? I'm on my hoverboard, dude. Levitating. Levitation homes. I told that motherfucker on stage. I appreciate you guys watching that that voted for Obama and Trump video. It's getting good little amount of views there. I appreciate you sharing it out and shit. Please do. I actually emailed Owen Benjamin. I know he's looking for an opener after the whole fiasco with Nimmer there, and I'm putting in that application, baby. Throwing my hat in the ring. All right, go in there and rock it out. I'm not 6'7". I'm only 6'2", but goddamn it, I'm a height improvement over Nimmer and a skin improvement. All right, if you want to be a white enthusiast. Oh, goodness gracious. I knew that was going to happen. What's up, Justin? I don't know why you're here either. My rig doesn't even fucking stay up. God damn it. Houston. All right, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. This is what happens when you buy your camera rig at the 99-cent only store in Los Angeles. That's what happens. Rig, son. That's what happens, baby. No, the stream has just only begun, Justin. We've only just begun to make fun of the mad world with which we live in. Oh, dude. Oh, yeah. What the hell was here for the Charger fiasco when I, had a Trump-esque victory against, the decreasing battery. It was down to 1%, and goddamn it, I fucking saved it. And I just checked it just now. It wasn't charging this fucking iPhone cord, and I replugged it, and we're good, ladies and gentlemen. We're good. So yeah, we had a little Trump versus Bernie showdown. Apparently Trump went on an epic 2+ hour rally out there riffing it up. Trump has made me laugh more than any comedian in the past 2 years, easily. Even the best comedians, they're just not pushing the envelope enough. Like they're all like stuck in like the 80s and 90s where pushing the envelope meant like talking about your dick on stage or making fun of abortions or like, making fun of rednecks. Like it's all so played out and nonsense and making fun of, there's this big racism problem in America. Oh my God. And it's all terrible, dude. But Trump gets up there with virtually no script and just riffs a 2-hour fucking rally that's funnier than any comedy special you can see on Netflix. He's a magic man. Justin says, the world is a terrifying place these days. I feel like a process of mass change that usually takes generations has happened around 4 years. I remember when things were somewhat tame. Yeah. Owen Benjamin was talking about this on his stream of like how if you don't have fundamental principles that to guide you, then it's just a race to the bottom of who can be the most subversive and weird and who can be the most debaucherous. And it's like that only goes so far. It's like so short term. But as far as the world being a terrifying place, I mean, the world is a hilarious place. All it takes is for rational people to say bullshit. If you can say those two syllables, bullshit, then we can win. And we will win. Because the left has no stamina, all right? They're draining their balls. They're watching porn. They're flipping through Tinder. All right? They think Bernie Sanders is a qualified leader. He combs his hair with a balloon. All right? He's 97 years old. He lets Black Lives Matter chicks take over his rally. Go ahead. I don't want to be racist. Go ahead, little gals. Take over the rally. It's your rally now. I mean, it was my rally, but I'm just a white male. I mean, what do I know? I don't know what it's like to be poor. They know what it's like to be poor. They need to be heard, all right? Oh, you're not poor. Oh, you're well funded by George Soros. Okay, well, go ahead, though. I'm a white male. Please take my platform. Stick a butt plug in me, and I'm done. Justin says, we've already won, but the problem is the world is ran by an echo chamber who is shilling for a jobless 1%. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, we just got to reduce the size of the state. And that's only going to happen if rational, good people say what's on their mind and stop apologizing and getting down on a knee and giving a fuck what the media thinks about you. That's what all these fake Republican dudes, they're just obsessed with like that black congresswoman lady. She called one of these Congress guys a racist, basically. And then he like broke down in tears and was like, I have mixed race nieces. I'm not a racist. And he was like pleading to Elijah Cummings, who was leading the discussion. He's like, you know, Elijah, I'm not racist. And it's like, dude, that's so fucking pathetic. It's so pathetic. And all we've got to do is keep speaking our minds and keep speaking the truth to power, because they have no stamina. Because their way of life drains their energy, and it's not sustainable. I mean, when you got dragon energy, you're doing squats, all right? You coming on here and talking truth, and you can go for 2 hours and shit and not skip a beat, baby. That's sustainable, all right? Because you got fundamental principles that you're operating on, so you don't have to stop and think how people are going to perceive you. It's like, no, that's weird. No, that's fucked up. You can just point it out, and you become bulletproof if you just be honest. But nobody wants to be honest. Everybody wants to like craft their personalities to try to fit into the social matrix of like the comedy scene, and like what's gonna, work for me, and how can I market myself, and it's all very Jewy. It's all, how would I get in and market myself? And no, just say what the fuck is on your mind. Oh, that's scary. Don't say what's on your mind. Oh, but you see what I'm doing? I go up on stage and I say, yeah, I voted for Trump. Motherfucker, and what? And they don't know what to do, because they've never actually been confronted by somebody with an opposing point of view. And so they freeze up, until they get to know me and then realize I'm just, I'm a funny motherfucker. And they're like, it doesn't like jive in their head. They're like, he's cool when we're talking and we're hanging out, but then he gets on stage and he makes fun of all the things that I'm super serious about that I haven't figured out yet. I haven't figured out that I'm an idiot, and he's pointing it out, and it hurts my feelings. But yeah, dude, that would be a goddamn dream going on, opening up for Mr. Owen Benjamin there. I've sent the emails, ladies and gentlemen, but I appreciate you guys watching that voted Obama and Trump stand-up clip I posted. Y'all seem to like it. Please share it out. Let's get it going viral and shit. What's up, Mank? Andrew Yang is a complete fucking idiot. it's socialism. It's the whole universal basic income thing. It's a rebranding of socialism, and it's retarded to expect that you're going to be able to redistribute that wealth and pay for all this extra money you're paying people for continuing to breathe. Oh, let's pay people because they're maintaining their breathing cycle. Let's pay people for not dying. Let's pay people for blinking. That's valuable to the economy. No, but it's a Cheeto fingered, beanbag chair Xbox controller dream to just get $1,000 free a month for no fucking reason. But it's socialism. It's retarded to expect that you're going to be able to tax these big companies that represent the 1% of the elite, or just the elite earners of the individuals. They're not just going to sit there and let you tax them. That's not how shit works. You either have, when you're on that level, you either have political connections, that you have a team of lobbyists that can get you out of those situations and lower your tax burden, or you're just going to move out of the country. You're going to relocate to fucking China. What up, want to survive? I want to survive as well. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't taste any worse than fucking Bud Light or Coors Light or, any of the other piss water beers. So might as well get a 15 pack for $9 and call it a night, ladies and gentlemen. Gets the job done. But yeah, this idea that you can just tax the rich and redistribute the shit. What's up, Lickle Bear? Nice piece on you there. It could be extended a little more. You could put a few more equal signs, dude. I got big expectations. I'm used to watching porn, all right? I mean, I have stopped jerking off to porn, but I'm not sanctimonious about the shit. I just think it's better for your brain. I mean, trust me, I'm a veteran. I started when I was goddamn 13 because the internet hit when I was 11. That's a rough fucking transition when the internet hits and you're 11 and you start getting access to porn and you're like, but the family computer is in the front room, so you got to sneak out when your parents are asleep and try to jerk off. What's up, Ray D? Yeah, dude. Super sneaky. That was my Jew period in my life where I was very sneaky and subversive. And, I got a slight curve in my dick to show for it. All right. It contours perfectly to my right hand. All right. You don't want to get that fucking round the bend dick. You know? But I just think you process the little minutia of reality a lot better when you're not watching porn because it's so hyper stimulating. And also the dating apps too, when you're flipping through just faces of girls and deciding on an instant if you want to fuck. Do I want to fuck? Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. It's like, it's not good for your brain, I think, because you're looking so much on a surface level, you don't like stop to appreciate. I'm driving through Beverly Hills and it's just so goddamn beautiful on these big wide streets and all the intricacies of all the different trees and all the leaves and shit and all the patterns in the clouds and how really processing how you're feeling with your emotions and listening to just the world going on around you and taking it all in as a sensory experience. When you're routinely overloading yourself with fuck, no, fuck, no, fuck, no, fuck, no, fuck, fuck, no, yes, 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 fuck, jerk, 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 jerk. It's not good. It's hyping your brain up with expectation that doesn't allow you to fucking, appreciate the nuances of existence. And so, I'm keeping the jizz in the balls and, I'm going to the gym, ladies and gentlemen. And so I'm bursting at the seams with dragon energy. And that's how it should be. That the government would be a lot smaller if the men of this country would keep that jizz in their balls and go to the gym, you know, and eat some goddamn protein. I'm keeping my cock, all right? I'm not getting with the trend, the new trend of chopping the cock off and just so I can go and dominate in the WNBA. All right? That would be fun. I'm not saying it wouldn't be fun. You know, once you got the whole cock chop out of the way, I got a nice clean Ken doll flesh wall going on down there, and then, you know, I throw on the wig and I keep the beard just to fuck with people, but I throw on the wig, you know, and I start playing for the LA Sparks, dude. I'll go down there in one tryout session, I'll be crossing bitches up, you know? And I'm 6'2" and I can't dunk, but goddamn it if I don't have a supreme layup package. All right, I can hit that English off the glass and shit. I'll be making these goofy bitches fall down, dude. I'll be throwing it through their legs, dude. I got them, you know, I got them male muscles going on. I got that male skeleton, dude. I'll be backing them down on the block, you know, teaching them lessons. I'll be Shaq Daddy on that ass, dude. Juwanna Man was a fictional movie in the 90s. Juwanna Man. And now people are going to look back at that movie like, interesting documentary. Really captured the times there. It's like, no, that was supposed to be a spoof comedy. That's not reality. But the transgender thing really is just an epidemic of dudes chopping their cocks off. It's 99% that. Like, how many trans men do you see? I mean, you guys probably don't live in Hollywood. You probably don't see any of them. But, you know, I never saw a transgender person in my life till I came to Hollywood. But goddamn, I only see transgender women. It's never trans men. Because there's no benefit to, you know, there's no benefit to faking to be a man and having a surgically crafted fake dick super glued to your Ken doll flesh wall there after they cement it up with Quickcrete. They fill that, you know, vagina you don't want up with some Quickcrete there, and they spray paint some flesh colored, you know, hue there, and then you got your Ken doll flesh wall situation rocking, and then the surgeon crafts a nice, you know, ergonomic Wizinator there, and then you try out for the NFL and you die on the field. Tragedy struck today in training camp when Mark, formerly Maggie, was separated from her newly crafted surgical penis at the 50-yard line. And a once inspiring story turned tragic today in training camp. She thought she wanted to play in the NFL until she ran into a middle linebacker. Probably should have tried to be the kicker. You know, you can't even trust a woman to be a kicker, trans men. You know, woman transition over to a man trying to be a kicker. And then she's got to deal with all her emotions. Maybe she's, you know, that's the kicker's got to stay cool in the moment, bruh. You can't have them emotions bubbling up, fucking the whole moment up. That is very disturbing, Survive. That is... oh, man. That is having a, you know, surgically manufactured cock there. That's, you know... Maybe just pick out your favorite dildo and a secure tube of super glue and make it easy. I delivered a strap-on one time from West Hollywood on Postmates, and it was to a dude, And I was very curious. Like, he looked like Bob from accounting. He had just a button-down shirt on, wireframe glasses, balding and shit. He was like, "Thank you." Just took the strap on. And I was like, "What do you got planned tonight, Bob? What the fuck is going? Are you engaging in a little pegging there, Bob? Bob, the reports were due on my desk by noon. Why are you getting pegged in the broom closet?" I've delivered whippets to gay people out here in West Hollywood, you know. Gay people, apparently, you know, it really fucks your brain up and it feels good for a couple seconds, which I believe the gays are into, you know, long-term getting fucked up but feeling good for a couple seconds. That's their bag. And, but they were super stoked when I showed up with a fucking bullet, like, it feels like bullets, like whippet cartridges. It feels like a big pack of bullets, like ching, ching, ching. This big fucking heavy package. And I showed up with it, and they were super stoked, bro. They spent like $200 on whippets, and the party continued. It was like early in the morning, too. They were like, had been going all night. And they're like, "Oh, the Postmates is here. Time to keep fucking buttholes." This is the kind of acculturation you get when you move to Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. You can experience it all. Let me turn this heater off real quick. I'm heated up enough. What's up, Vanessa? Vanessa, you've met a trans man? Well, there was that trans man that burned his own house down and tried to blame it on bigotry. That's a little weird. He looked like, you know, Professor X had AIDS. That trans man didn't look like he was doing very well, and you know, very looking for some victimhood currency there, and burned down his house and killed his dogs. In the name of progressivism. This is my ex's sister, I guess brother now. Okay. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, we don't know enough about gender dysphoria and transgenderism, you know, enough to like say it's a legitimate thing. And like, I think it's legitimate that people are born with homosexuality as a tendency, you know, and then it can be reinforced by their environment. A lot of this shit happens from predation on children and shit. But I don't think we know enough about the human brain to say definitively, like, transgenderism is a thing. Like, it could still be just a trendy form of mental illness that happens to people. And I don't think it does them any favors to be like, "Oh, we're celebrating you. Yes, get the hormones, get the surgery, do it all. Yes, get it, girl, yes, chop that cock off, yes." Like, of course the feminists like it because, you know, they're always trying to degrade masculinity as much as possible. So if there's a market out there for men who want to chop their cocks off, they're like, "Yes, do it. We can get more power if you do that. Yes, get it, girl, chop it off." And you know, that's what I was talking about on stage tonight, man. It's like, is that people are worried about getting too aggressive if they stop jerking off. It's like that's like something we need more of. We need some more aggressive men with a goddamn spine in society to look at Bernie Sanders and be like, why the fuck is anybody listening to this kooky 97-year-old fossil who combs his hair with a balloon? Why are we listening to the Crypt Keeper pretend like he understands economics? Oh no, 1,000 yard stare. I'm not losing my mind. I'm a rare breed. All right, I thrive on confrontation. All right, it's just like a 5-star restaurant to me, dude. When I go into a room full of people who disagree with me, oh, pass the hors d'oeuvres. Oh, because I know all the issues I'm talking about. I've thought about everything that they've thought about 20 times over. And so I have a retort to their retort to their retort to their retort. And so I'm just in heaven, dude. I'm in fucking heaven when I'm in a room of people who disagree with me. I can't get enough. I'm like the dudes who are looking at gaping buttholes on Pornhub, that are addicted to it. I love it so much. I love seeing that look in their eye when they're like, "Oh, I am wrong, but I've still got to be committed to my ideas." I love it so much because I know I'm right. Not that I'm right about everything, but I have fundamental principles that I operate on, and I know these people don't have any principles. I know they haven't really thought through the arguments. I know they haven't really universalized it in their head and turned it around and thought about it. Because I've been a liberal. I've been a leftist. I still consider myself a liberal. I don't go by the modern definition of a liberal, which means you got to sit on a butt plug and think Bernie Sanders knows about economics. That's not being a liberal. You want go protest for transgender bathrooms and say they're brave. That's not being a liberal. Being a liberal means believing in the freedom of the individual, which is what I do. I just take it to the nth degree. I play the argument out. I play it out. If you really believe in the freedom of the individual, well, what about that whole taxation thing there? What up, Zuckerberg? Mark Zuckerberg doesn't believe in the freedom of the individual. He believes that, people need to be policed on Facebook. And I read that story in the podcast the other day. These Facebook content curators that they have, it's not even an algorithm. They literally employ people to sit there, no life people, and sit there and define what and decide what's hateful and what's not. And what up, Leighton? I'm not scared. Mark Zuckerberg, do your worst. Come at me. But like they literally have people sitting there, and it's like deciding what's hateful and what's not, what's acceptable. Is this progressive enough? Is this another Nazi Russian? And they were saying they were getting into substance abuse problems, and they were having problems with sexual assault in the workplace there, and they're losing their goddamn minds. And that's why, all it takes for the rational people to win in society is to stand up and say, that's bullshit. Because they'll just fold. That's what they do. And that's why I enjoy the confrontation out here in Hollywood, because there's no threat. They're a bunch of gays and Jews that are like 5'6". And they're like, you should feel bad about what you said. And I'm like, don't really. And they're like, oh. And they slink off to the next person to try to convince, you don't want the power we're offering you? You don't want to be in our cool club? And I'm like, you guys aren't really even that cool. And they're like, oh my God, is he cooler than us? What the It's all this peer pressure psyop that they're running, this psychological operation that you got to believe what all the cool kids believe in Hollywood, and you got to get on with a progressive agenda, or you're never going to get anything in this town. You're not going to get ahead. And it's like, yeah, you're not going to get ahead historically in entertainment if you're not saying anything that's true. Good luck going down in history as being a legend if you're not going to call out the horse shit. If you're not going to say what you really believe. It's all this fucking mind game. Ooh, you're not gonna get all the blowjobs and the sports cars. It's like, motherfucker, I'm gonna get that by myself. I don't need you to give me that. I don't have any goddamn mortal masters on this planet. Nobody controls me, dude. And that's how it's gonna stay. Because I got the wonderful Outrage crew. I can come on here and talk shit, ladies and gentlemen. That's what life's all about. I don't need to be approved by these Jews. No thanks. Truth be told, you know, all the Jews I've met out here in Hollywood have been some of the best people I've met. They get it, you know. They're a little bit sneaky, you know, but I respect the high IQ. All right? It's the dumbed down feminists and the self-hating white liberals that, you know, they're the most fun to fuck with. Because they're the... Dude, so fun. It's so fun, dude. Oh, I can't even describe it to you. And I haven't, and a lot of the black people I've met have been really cool too. They get it, you know, because they're around these white liberals all the time too, and so they're fucking tired of it. I'm like a breath of fresh air when they meet me. They're like, oh, finally, some guy that doesn't apologize for his own skin color and having his own and keeping his dick. Got my dick, like my dick. All right, got my skin color, whatever. I'm not going to apologize for it and pretend like, oh my God, you can't. I know that my ancestors, they did bad things to you. And I just want to say that as a white man, and I know you're a person of color, and I know it'd be better if I did, you know, I'd preface everything I say to make sure I don't offend you. And I know it's a very sensitive topic. And they're fucking fed up with that horse shit. I'm just like, yeah, white privilege don't exist. Like, what do you got to offer? And they're like, finally! Finally! I'm like, yeah, the black people got to stop killing so many goddamn people. How about that? Oh, the cops are racist. Ugh. How about the, you know, all the black males that commit over 50% of the homicides in the country? And black people respect that shit when you tell them to their face. And you don't back down. They're like, finally. Motherfucker with some balls, I can relate to you. You know, you have a spine. Because you can't trust people that hate themselves. Because they're always trying to manipulate and like get something from you, and you know they don't want to. They're not honest with themselves, so they don't believe that they can be honest with anybody else. And so it's all this manipulating psyop game to try to have this allure of power, and we're the cool kids, and like it's all this horse shit. And I see right through them, so they get real uncomfortable when they're around me. Oh, I love it. I told one of my black friends that I was like, man, you know, I like making people uncomfortable a little bit. Truth be told, I want to get, you know, a lot bigger than I am. I'm pretty skinny right now. I want to get in the gym. I want to get, you know, real big, dude. I want to get fucking so big I make people uncomfortable when I step in the room. I want beads of sweat to come up on people's heads when I walk in the room. Like, God damn, he works out a lot. What the fuck? You know? I want that. And he was like, oh, you want to make people uncomfortable when you walk in the room? Try being black. And I was like, oh, dude, this... it's fucking hilarious. Clean Talking John. I got a podcast on here with him. If you want to go check him out, he's a fucking riot. Yeah, Nod Mellon, the lowly blacks can't be expected to get ID to vote with. Yeah, yeah, dude, that's the most racist position maybe on the left in its entirety. Like that voter ID is racist. That black people are just so knuckle dragging and ape-like. They can't make their way down to the DMV, all right, because it's just too much of an overload for their IQ levels, God damn it. They're going to scrape their knuckles all up trying to go down to the DMV It's like, it's so racist, dude. The idea that black people can't get their shit together enough to get a fucking ID, or Hispanic people, like, you know, so dumb. And it's just a psyop to try to, you know, create a stigma with voter ID, because it's just so plain and common sense that it's like, yeah, you should have to present an ID before you vote. But the left doesn't want that, because they want to be able to bust the illegal immigrants all around to these voting stations in the states that don't require voter ID, and they want to sign them up on welfare and sign them up to vote for Democrat. Because those are the only people, propagandized third world immigrants, that have, you know, are so depleted of calories. They've dragged themselves all across the border, and we barely made it. We got raped 14 times, and oh God, what do we do? And the left is standing there waiting for them at the border. We'll give you free shit. Just vote for us. You know, we can't convince any of these racists in here to vote for us, you know, because they figured out we're racists. Oh, our plan went up in flames. You know, another beer, ladies and gentlemen. They're so racist. Don't you want to move here? Oh, you talking about AJ? You talking about Project Veritas again? Yeah, dude. The rigging the system, the voter fraud one. That one was the most illuminating out of any of them. There were these people that worked for the DNC, the Democratic National Convention, and they were just looking straight in the hidden camera. And they were like, yeah, we've been busting illegals around for 50 years. We've been stealing elections for half a decade, or half a millennium. You know? We just sign them up under dead people's names on the voter rolls, and we just get to work stealing them elections, boy. Woo! And it's like, oh my God. They're so flagrant about the shit. I don't think Hillary Clinton actually won the popular vote. I think that was a lot of, you know, nigger rigging, if you excuse my French there. You know, black people love me so much, they hate white liberals so much, and I'm such a breath of fresh air. I can slip the word nigga in the conversation, and they just laugh, and they love it. It's like, because they feel where I'm coming from. They feel that I'm not like weird about race. I'm just like, yeah, I'll make fun of you, you make fun of me, motherfucker. Let's do this shit. Like we're both fucking goofy in our own way. Yeah, I can't dance. Yeah, I can't freestyle rap. But you can't do a goddamn math problem like I can, motherfucker. You can't break down the philosophical intricacies like I can, motherfucker. Yeah, I think I saw that too, Melon. I think I saw there was like, she made like a social media post about it and shit. She is like, she took a picture. She took a picture of the voter registration and of the welfare registration, and was like welcoming the new immigrants at the border. And it's like, yeah, you got to do that, huh? Because you can't convince anybody who has a fucking brain to vote for you. So it's like, it's so obvious. But it's looked at as this conspiracy theory that illegals vote. Yeah, dude. Let's read a little comments here. I think I missed a couple of them. Then you ask black people on the street if they know what ID is, and if they have it, they all answer yes, yes, yes. Yeah, dude, it's all horse shit. Blacks will be a Republican in a decade. Yeah, I mean, if black people wake up to the bullshit that's been purveyed upon them by the Democrats, it's over for them. And hopefully Kanye can get his goddamn arguments together and fucking articulate some shit. What kind of vape device do I have? It's called a Smock 22. I almost broke it just a second ago, as you saw or heard. But you got to keep that fucking band on there because I've cracked the glass a million fucking times. So you keep that band on there, you can keep on vaping, baby. Oh, God. Mark Zuckerberg's bribing people. He's extorting people for their socks. Survive says, I want to agree with you. If you're actually able to examine a gay person's childhood, you find some sexual trespass that happened to them or their same-sex parent was abusive and they could not bond. Yeah, it's an interesting theory. I believe there might be some kind of genetic predisposition toward homosexuality. Because there's a spectrum of, feminine men and masculine women. It just makes sense that you're going to get the extremes sometimes. A super feminine man who likes fucking dudes. I mean, it's just a genetic anomaly. I think it is played up in the culture so much that what up, Steven Johnson? I think it is played up in the culture so much that it does encourage people that wouldn't otherwise be gay to go gay because it's so encouraged. And so, I don't know. Owen Benjamin was making a good point. He was making me think on his podcast when he was talking about if you say that you just have sex for pleasure, and you make, which I do, I use condoms and contraception. I'm not looking to have a baby or get married anytime soon, but I still want to fuck. And so he's like, if you say that sex is for pleasure, well, then you can't justify not, condoning homosexuality and transsexuals and like teaching the shit to kids. And you see those pictures of like the demon tranny, like, teaching kids about transsexuals and like you can just Google that, demon tranny teaches kids, and there's a horrific fucking picture on Google of this Satan horned like weird drag queen trans woman teaching kids. But the thing is, I don't know. I feel like it's a more healthy version of having sex for pleasure if it's heterosexual. Because you're not going to get AIDS, and it's just more healthy mentally, because it makes gives the man an ego boost, and he knows that he has the capacity to attract women. And then if the woman doesn't do it too much, it's different on the woman's side mentally, because if she like starts hooking up with all these different dudes like a man, she's going to be miserable, and that's going to be horrible psychologically for a woman, because they're designed more for monogamy, and there's a lot fewer eggs in the universe than there are sperm. So men are designed to just spread that fucking seed, everywhere, Genghis Khan style, not rape, but you know what I mean. But women are designed to pair bond and have a kid. And choose one man that's high quality and give him sexual access. And so when they go on this whole cock carousel thing, it really leads to a spiral of depression, and it leads to feminism, and it leads to blue hair, and it leads to idiot rants on Facebook. But I think if women choose wisely and the highest quality of men, I think they should have. There's nothing wrong with waiting to get married if you're a man. Because especially with the family court system, how it's so gynocentric and geared against men, and women can just decide on a whim that they want half of your money and just fucking leave. And like, it takes a while to find a real legit quality woman to want to settle down with and want to have kids with. And you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with a dude, you know, conquering some pussy now and then. You're gonna get out there and fucking, because it's testing your skills as a man. That's the other thing. It's like women, all they have to do is say yes and spread their legs. Men, it's a skill set to attracting women and making yourself attractive to women. Like I went out in college. I was horrible with women in high school. I never got laid. I was that motherfucker, that pathetic dude that would follow women around at frat parties and be like, what do you want to do? You want to play beer pong? I guess we're playing beer pong. What do you want to do now? Do you love me yet? And it was like super pathetic. And so I got tired of that shit. And I was like, I'm going to teach myself how to attract women. And so this is what I did in my college town. I went around, I would go around in the daytime because I didn't like going out to the bars at night because the women would bring their girlfriends and their boyfriends, and you had to wade through all this bullshit to, you know, get to them and even talk to them. And it was loud music and shit. It was bullshit. So I would go out in the daytime, and I read all these pickup artist things online and shit. And I would go out in the daytime to all around my college campus. I would go to Walmart. I would go to Hobby Lobby. I'd go to TJ Maxx. I'd go to Ross Dress for Less. And I was not buy anything because I was shopping for pussy, ladies and gentlemen. And I would go around and just approach women in public and start conversations and invite them out for coffee dates and shit. And it was a lot of trial and error, a lot of awkward, fucking uncomfortable moments, but it made me learn how to handle myself under pressure. And yes, AJ, I was banned from Walmart. I was banned from Hobby Lobby. I was banned from Ross Dress for Less. And I had to have a sit down with the Student Conduct Council because I approached a girl on campus that I had already been shot down by before. She had totally changed her hair, in my defense. All right, I didn't know it was her. But I had to go sit and talk to these stuffy old women feminists who are like, we just want to examine your motivations, Mr. Jordan. It's troubling, and we just want to make sure you're not up to anything bad. And I'm like, I'm a dork that's trying to get laid. What do you not get here? What do you not understand? It's a trial and error process, all right? But you got to learn how to do that shit as a man. You got to learn how to be comfortable in your own skin and talk to women. It's a very valuable skill set just socially and being comfortable in your own skin as a man. Women don't have to do any of that shit. They just got to look pretty and stand there. And so sexual access is much easier for them. And so I think there's a value to be had being a man, not necessarily getting married at 18 and just locking it down. And I mean, if you find the woman of your dreams in high school and you want to marry her, okay, but good fucking luck with that. You know, I think there's some value in playing the field and learning how to be an attractive man to multiple different women. So, and there's also like, I don't think we should be teaching sex education to kids in school, especially in public school. Like, public school doesn't do anything well. They teach you that the Great Depression was saved by FDR. They teach you that Joseph McCarthy was a psycho who like was totally schizophrenic, and there was no communist. He was totally insane, and it's like all horseshit. Like, there was a huge communist infiltration in the government, and it's like now flowering in the universities in modern day, where it's like 30%, 40% of college professors openly identify as communist. If they identified as Nazi, that would be a horrific fucking, disaster in society, and sound the alarm. But communism only killed 100 million people in the 20th century. So, they're nice and they have beards and glasses, and yeah, they call themselves communists, but Joseph McCarthy was right. This is what public school teaches you. So public school should not at all be sticking their nose into sexual education. That you got to leave that up to parents, dude. You got to leave that up to parents. And, you know, I think you should leave education up to parents. All these fucking teachers like out protesting and striking for more money. It's like, motherfucker, you are the most worthless piece of shit in society. Like, all you do is stand there and recite Common Core propaganda to these kids. And then you only work till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You get all your summers off and you expect to be paid more. We put all this money into education in this society and it doesn't get any better because it's funded by the government and because they have an agenda of propaganda that they have to follow that's centrally mandated called Common Core. And you can't deviate from Common Core, so you can't actually teach the kids anything about real philosophy or real morals or real values, because then if you teach them about the non-aggression principle, they'll be like, well, why are my parents forced at gunpoint to fund this school? You can't actually teach kids how to think, or they'll think their way out of coming to school. And so you have to teach them that people in general are bad, and then the government swoops in like a crusader. Oh, the government is here, and they save the day, and those are the heroes of history, are all the presidents and congress people, and, you know, that's the narrative they have to give you in order to justify their own existence. So you're never going to get any improvement in education until you get it out of the hands of the government. And so sex education, like, there shouldn't be any sex education. Your parents should teach you that shit. Like, my parents are great people for the most part, but they did not teach me anything about sex or or attracting women. I had to figure out all of that shit on my own. And the school didn't help. They were like, you know, looking back on it, it was probably a good policy, but they came in and was like, their number one thing was abstinence. Oh, abstinence, and you won't have to worry about anything else. And we just laughed. Like, it was like a punchline in the class. Like, oh, abstinence, yeah. Like, these girls wearing these short fucking skirts, and they got, you know, fresh, you know, 15-year-old cleavage popping out. And we're just like, yeah, we're just supposed to pretend like that's not there and abstain, you know. I'm going to take a tinkle real quick. Please rate the federal outrage chancellor's flow on the podcast on a scale of 10. I'll be right back and I'll read some comments. Oh, yes. So disrespectful to piss right on the podcast, dude. I got a loud flow, Vanessa. Loud flow. You can read into that however you like. Okay? I'm not saying anything, you know, but I'm just saying. Melon says, places I've had some success meeting women at the beach, walking my dog, and at the gym. Yeah, meet them in public, dude. Go do your thing. Live your life, and women will be there. You don't need these fucking dating apps. Like, I was deep in the dating apps for a long time, dude. Honestly, I was a little bit obsessed. Because it's so easy to get obsessed. It's just right there on your phone, dude. Swipe, 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 swipe. Fuck, 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 fuck. No, 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 no. Swipe, swipe, swipe. It's bad. I've decided it's just bad for your mental well-being. Because what successful bad motherfucker guy is on a dating app? Like, women automatically lose respect for you as soon as they see you on a dating app, I feel like. All the best relationships you're going to have in your life are women you meet while you're living your life. In real life, all right? Not in this fucking digital horseshit world where it's like, you know, trying to get pussy. I got my profile here. Like me, please. You know, it's such needy beta bullshit. Like no real successful guy is on the dating app swiping and shit while he should be, you know, trying to accomplish something. What the hell's I know? Yeah, I've heard better flows as well. I'll try better next time. I'm drinking all the natty light I can. I'm trying. Melon says my area recently had a revamp. Oh yeah, AJ, you learned it from friends. Melon says my area recently had a revamp of the sex ed curriculum, and now it includes a bunch of BS about being trans when you're 5 years old and mothers and fathers. Oh, you've had a visit from Bill Nye. Bill Nye, the friendly science guy. He wants to have some private time with your 3-year-old there. He wants to teach him about gender fluidity. Ooh. And how the climate can shift suddenly. The climate has changed, just like my gender. Oh. Bill Nye, the creepy pedophile guy. He wants to. All right, see you later, 1,000-yard bear stare. You bad motherfucker. But yeah, it's super fucking creepy. They should not know about transgender people. No, that's one of the things in society that men need to stand up and say, no. It's these fucking weak men. These weak men just let their wives take over, and they'll be like, well, if he wants to do that, it might be his true identity. I mean, it's really how he feels. Are you going to deny how he feels? Yes. That's the man's job, is to deny how you feel and point out how it doesn't fucking matter. No, I have not seen the documentary on Michael Jackson. I assume there's a lot of damning evidence. That's what I've seen. Right here on the Drudge Report, they have a link. 10 undeniable facts about the Michael Jackson's sexual abuse allegations. I don't know. I'll just choose to listen to Billie Jean, you know, and not feel guilty. You know. And it's hard to separate Michael from the horrific abuse he had when he was a kid. You know, there's rumors about, you know, his dad. I think it's actually been confirmed that his dad, like, had his testicles snipped so that his voice would stay really high. And it's like, if you're going to that degree to fuck, like, to not giving a fuck what your kid wants, like, there was probably some creepy sexual shit going on with Joe Jackson as well. I don't know. We all know about the abuse and the, you know, the castrato shit. But, yeah. It's hard to separate Michael's acts as an adult from his trauma that he received as a kid. Like, how much of your free will gets eroded by actually being traumatized that much? Like, he still shouldn't have touched the kids, but goddamn. Fucking Michael. I choose to remember the inspiring moments with Michael and not the dark, diddling moments. All songs before it happened are okay. When's the first diddling event? All right, I'm gonna go to the album before that. All right, what if the music got way better after he started fucking kids? Like that was the inspiration he needed to make Thriller. Oh my god, that was the inspiration he needed to make Thriller, dude. For that video, he's like, I'm not really feeling it. I need to fuck some kids before I get this. I can really feel it. So terrible. I couldn't imagine Michael actually fucking kids. I don't know what the evidence is, but at the very worst, I would imagine him, having them sleep over in the bed and then he like touched their asshole at some point. He played Ring Around the Rosie with the little kid asshole and, maybe offered to suck their dick. I don't know. And Michael was very submissive. He doesn't seem like the raping type to me. There's a specific personality that goes along with the raping. Bill Cosby makes sense. Bill Cosby's got kind of a rapey vibe. Because he's always moralizing and lecturing people on their behavior, and he's very self-important and egotistical, and that's the type of dude who'll slip some shit in your drink. But Michael, he was always really humble and always really soft-spoken and never really boisterous, and I don't see him doing raping. Holy shit. AJ thinks Cosby is innocent. Is that a troll? That's interesting. And has there been any actual evidence that Cosby did the shit other than allegations? Other than #BelieveWomen? Because it's like, I don't know. It's just once you get a certain amount of allegations, it's like, man. But there is that aspect of the pile-on effect where these women, I don't know, are they getting settlements from it? Are they getting in on a lawsuit that gets them money? Is that what's going on? Because it's like, it was like this cascading effect of like, it was a couple women, for a long time. And then it was like 5 women, and it was like 10 and 20 and 30. And it was like, yeah, Cosby was not going anywhere. They had him cuffed up and shit, all with his glass eye rolling around. Where's my pudding pops? Yeah, the pudding. Suspicions of women just want money. AJ is super misogynistic. How dare you deny those victims? You need to chop your cock off and get with the program, okay? Women never lie, all right? They don't have the capacity to lie because we respect them, all right? They're not smart enough to lie. We're the left wing. We don't think women are smart enough to lie, so we should always believe them because they don't even have imaginations. How could they come up with a lie? Women don't have any Nobel Prizes. They're not creative enough to lie. How do I feel about Cardi B wanting to get into politics? Everybody thinks that just because Trump won, that it's like this big fame contest to win the presidency. And it's like, I don't know, maybe the public is dumbed down enough for that to be the case, but Trump, he tapped into something that the American public really wanted. They really wanted somebody to actually talk about immigration. And so unless they have like a policy that they're like sure the public is going to resonate with, it's just a publicity stunt for clicks. Like, I don't think Oprah would win because she's just a windbag of positive sounding fucking nothing. I don't know if Kanye could win. Kanye might be able to win. Honestly, Kanye might be able to win because he, if he could clean up the mental health stigma that's going against him, and articulate himself a little bit because he has the right ideas. He knows that the black people have been hoodwinked by the Democratic Party. He can, speak that truth that's been latent in the black community that they all feel. Like, I talk to black people out here and they feel it, that there's this like condescending racism on the side of the white liberals. And I mean, it just has to be articulated to them that it's a through line. It hasn't been any different. The Democrats have always been the racist party. They were the party of the KKK. They were the party of Jim Crow, and they owned most of the slaves. What the parties didn't flip, which is the leftist narrative, that's not what happened. The Democrats flipped their strategy from direct ownership through slavery and direct like violence through the KKK. They flipped it to, oh, we're just going to bribe the blacks into voting for us. And we're going to tell them that the Republicans are the racist ones, and we're going to protect them from the Republicans. And that's the narrative that's sustained until this very day. Oh, I'm not doing my job, Zuckerberg, unless I get a dislike. I got to get at least one dislike in there. I got to ruffle some jimmies, dude. That's what we're here for. Wouldn't be doing my job if everybody liked it. Got to rustle them jimmies. Black Dems wouldn't vote for Kanye. They're already disowning him and calling him a coon. Well, I feel like there's a sleeping giant of black conservatism going on because it's this hush-hush thing. Like, I've had black comics out here say, I gotta say this shit, in public to, have this reputation, but really I lean Republican. And it's like, I don't even lean, that's the phrasing they put it in, but I get what they're saying. They lean individualist. They're not with this identity horseshit and playing the race card game. Good for you, Vanessa. Good, because I know there's a lot of shaming in the black community that like, oh, you're a coon, and oh, you're a sellout, and oh, you're an Uncle Tom, and that's some of the most racist shit that goes on. Like the vitriol that dudes like Ben Carson get, for being a black conservative. It's like, the terminology is a little weird, like leaning Republican and conservative, like Republican and conservative. I wouldn't even consider myself Republican or conservative. I just am pro free speech and pro Second Amendment. I think it's pro rationality because that's what it is. It's like these Republicans in Congress never do anything for anybody. They're just there playing like cowboys and Indians, like a fake opposition. But I think the answer is freedom, and black people want freedom, and they would really benefit from it as opposed to this, democratic plantation system that's set up to keep them on the track of failure and keep them in the welfare system and keep them needy and dependent on the government. They don't want that shit, But Kanye might be the best successor for Trump. What up, Dirtweed? Honestly, I don't see what our other options are now. after Trump gets another 4 years. Oh yes, good morning, sir. After Trump gets another 4 years, it's like, who else is there to carry on and actually institute some freedom? You know, who understands the agenda of the left and is going to oppose it and not back down. I don't know, dude. I hate this system where we have to vote for one King Alpha president. It's so dumb. But it must be this is the system we got to go through to achieve some freedom. So we got to, get somebody in there that's going to cut the size of government. Rand Paul, maybe, but he doesn't seem to be, following directly in the footsteps of his father, unfortunately. I mean, if you have Ron Paul as a dad and you're a congressman as well, and you don't you're not straight down the line libertarian, he's kind of leftist. Oh yeah, Alex Jones 2020. I like that. I like that, dude. Oh shit. We had that InfoWars press briefing every day, dude. Going live from the compound in Austin, Texas. Deep behind enemy lines, it's Alex Jones. It's the President of the United States from FEMA Region 6. He wouldn't even live in the White House. He'd just stay in the compound in Austin. Yeah, dude. You'd be exposing all that classified bullshit. AJ says, if Bill Cosby did it, then why did each of them have to read from a script to detail what happened to the media? If those drugs force you to forget what happened, then how can you remember later? It's a good point. It's a good point. There's definitely some coaching going on. There's some encouragement to go after him. I don't know what it is. What up, Jacob? Shout out to the Zuckerbergs. Doing the necessary policing on the internet there. Scrubbing it of hate speech. We can't have Alex Jones on the Facebook. He's evil. I don't know, when there's that many allegations though, and there were already rumors going around Hollywood about Cosby, it seems like, when there's that much smoke, I'm not one for, allegations equal guilty, but when there's that much smoke, it's like, Jesus Christ. There's got to be some fire there. And Cosby fits the profile with his personality. I mean, that is pretty fucked up if there was no real evidence and it was just all hearsay and allegations and he went to jail. I don't know, dude. But he wasn't real vocal about how innocent he was either. He denied it. He said he was not guilty, but he didn't come out in the media. If I'm innocent and a bunch of women are accusing me of drugging their drinks and raping them, and I have a big national profile like Bill Cosby, you goddamn right. I'm gonna come on and do a TED talk about how I didn't do this shit. And I'm gonna do all the interviews I can and be like, this is nonsense, there's no evidence, I never did this, it was consensual, whatever the fuck. I'm gonna come out and defend myself. He didn't do much of that at all. He just kind of avoided the questions and was weird about it. That's the mark of a guilty man to me. But again, innocent until proven guilty. I don't know all the evidence in the case and whatnot, but this is whatever the fuck flavor this is. This is kiwi, strawberry, raspberry, I believe. from the bargain bin in the vape shop there. $10 for 100 milliliters. Can't beat it. I'm on that bargain beer and that bargain vape juice, dude. We're doing what we can out here in Hollywood, dude. Got to pay that rent. I wrote a hot check 2 days ago, and we're going to make sure it clears before the 10th. My roommate is not home tonight. I don't know where she is. She's probably, sleeping closer to work so she can get up and get there on time and shit. But, hopefully getting better. She was extravagantly short on her rent payments this month. So I got to make up the goddamn difference in the meantime. Yeah, like Zuckerberg says, likes how no one gave a fuck about Bernie Sanders 3 months ago, and now he's a savior. Yeah, they all forget about what happened, last year. About how he totally cucked out to Hillary Clinton and just like, I'm anti-establishment, and then totally bowed down and sucked the dick of the establishment in front of everybody. And we're like, and then Bernie bros were like, we forgive you, Bernie, you had to do it. No, he really didn't. He could have called out the bullshit in the WikiLeaks emails, but, that's a little too much of a spine for Bernie. Oh yeah, it'd be amazing if the black Americans woke up, dude. I'm doing my part out here, one conversation at a time. One at a time, ladies and gentlemen. I think Hillary did a good part to wake up the black community because black people do not like Hillary Clinton. They do not like Hillary Clinton, dude. She's got a body count and she's shrill and annoying. And that's why Hillary didn't win, because black people don't like her. Black people like Trump more than Hillary. Because I feel like black people have a good gauge of energy, whether somebody's authentic or not. And that was what won that election. Trump is authentic and he's real. And Hillary is absolutely not. She's a total fraud. No, you can watch porn, Eric Cookie. Just don't beat off to it, Peek in every now and then and see what type of cultural subversion is happening and how deep the depravity has gone, Get a little entertainment. Your dick can even get hard, You can look at your hard dick, just don't beat it. Otherwise you are a cuck. And the people at the fourth wall didn't like hearing that tonight. But I think there's something there, because I haven't heard anybody make that observation that it automatically turns your life situation into a cuckold porn when you're watching porn and beating off. But it's even worse than the actual cuckold, because you're not in the room smelling that pussy aroma. All right? You're just smelling your own dick fumes and frosting your keyboard with your jizz. It's not good, ladies and gentlemen. Don't do it. And there's a strength that comes from denying things that are so easy to get and so gratifying. It's so easy to just pull up porn and jerk off. So easy. And once you get into the habit of it, it's so addicting. Like I told you, my dick got that slight curve in it, bro. It fucking, contours to the hand. All right, I've paid my dues. All right, on the porn. But I'm here to tell you, it's not good. It's not good. Stay away. You'll feel a lot better. All right? get in the gym, go out and talk to some ladies in the real world. All right. Got that slightly crooked dick, bruh. You know, just like my nose. All right. But it does help sometimes. It helps hit that G spot, Got that left turn at Albuquerque, and then you hit that G spot, Bugs Bunny style, son. What's up, Doc? That's what I say when I hit that G spot. I say, "What's up, Doc? What's up, Doc?" You take that left turn at Albuquerque, bro. Next thing you know, there's a waterfall. Oh, dude, that left turn at Albuquerque, son. You know what it is. Who would win a sword fight, Ratatouille or Stuart Little? Man, I don't give a fuck about none of that. Rats in a sword fight? What the fuck? I'm trying to stay away from rats. I'm glad there's no rat. That's why I'm glad I don't live in New York. I'm out here in LA, goddammit. Not nearly as many rats scuttling around. I feel better about that. I'm glad I'm all away from the bugs. Back in Oklahoma, there was that humidity, man. There was bugs fucking everywhere. I fucking hate bugs. I'm out here in this dry heat, dude. Although it is going to be raining all goddamn week in LA. Yeah, we got the homeless people. They're gigantic, gigantic rats. Gigantic mutated rats here begging for change outside the 7-Eleven. People just walk on past. The government's going to take care of that. We're fighting a war on poverty, ain't we? I ain't got to deal with that shit. Craziness, ladies and gentlemen. All right, it's a mad motherfucking world out there. I'm probably going to wrap this up. I got to get up and show the vacant apartments and do my assistant manager duties tomorrow morning. I'm all out of booze for the night. I don't want to drink anymore. And had a good fucking time hanging out with you beautiful people. And I'll be back tomorrow night. Hit me up on, I'll be sharing clips out on the Instagram at Nick Jordan himself. Find me on Twitter at I am Nick Jordan. Share out them stand-up clips for me. Do me a favor. If you can't contribute anything to the Bitcoin address below, that's the currency I trade in, baby. Share out them stand-up clips and let's make them go viral, because I think that some high-quality shit there. And yeah, baby, I'll put the full audio of the podcast on all the podcast apps. You can search it up, Outrage Cast, all one word. Find that motherfucker up on there and listen while you on the go. And get your day started with some outrage. Yeah, dude. Yes, sir. You be seeing Eric Cook. You be seeing me soon on my show. You talking about the Comedy Store show? Are you coming? Comedy Store show on the 4th. For anybody out here in LA, I got a Comedy Store show coming up. The Monday Madness on Monday. Yeah, Vanessa, glad to have you. Glad to have the perspectives in here of a person of color. Yeah, dude. Always fun hanging out. I'll be coming on here probably tomorrow night as well, talking shit, talking truth, and shouting down the communists as they stand, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, have a beautiful rest of your night. Have a wonderful night. Good night's sleep. As a person of color, as a straight fucking white male, I'm gonna tell you right now: stop jerking it to porn. Stop on them dating apps. Get out there in the real world and rock out with your cock out, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Nick Jordan signing off. Thank you for the subscribe. Mwah! Big kiss out to all the outrage faithful out there. Much love, ladies and gentlemen. Rocking it out with your cock out. in public.